One of the big things that makes Luka just so absolutely dangerous is when he gets to the paint, he makes the absolute right decision a huge amount of the time, whether it's to him finish or to having the big finish. Now, we've seen several examples now of how he finishes super, super efficiently, and we're going to discuss why him finishing efficiently in the paint actually creates more openings for teammates, in particular how Luka sees that and reads it and uses that to be one of the absolute best passers in the league. Let's go. All right, so the first thing we're taught on defense as from a young age is when you're going to help, you want to help early, especially with the Suns. We notice, well, one, they're post players out here, but even given that, they're very small across the board, very, very small. So the only way they can stop somebody that's a good driver like Luka is you're going to have to help early. So the issue is Luka does a phenomenal job of understanding this and reading this. So we're going to see the help either come from, I believe right here, Devin Booker's going to step up. He's going to step up and try and meet Luka right here, which in general is the right idea. So Luka goes to the drive, Devin steps up. The issue with this is with a very small team, even without very small team, it still puts emphasis on Bradley Beal right here, where he has to guard two players. He has to be aware of Reeves, and he has to be aware of Jackson Hayes. And the issue is if you have a super small player like Bradley Beal, is not like small, but he's not like a post player either. And so Jackson Hayes is going to have a huge size and vertical advantage on the inside, and Luka knows this. So he sees Devin Booker help up. He notices that Bradley Beal doesn't have full body contact, which is very difficult for Bradley Beal to do. And he's simply going to throw that up into the area, and there's no one else that can get that ball other than Jackson Hayes. And the thing is, Luka needs to understand this well before he actually gets to the paint in order to make that right read. So again, he gets the slight edge right here. So he's going right here. And this post player, just kind of situationally, but he's going to be the one that's going to step up right here. And again, what does this put strain on? Technically, it puts strain on this defender and this defender, one of these two defenders. But regardless, you have post player here on the inside, and you have spacing out there on the perimeter, which makes it very difficult for the defense. Okay, steps up. Luka reads this immediately. Luka sees this as soon as he comes off that screen and has that little edge right there. So we have post player here, unless there's literally a dude that's inside of number 10 right here. Number 10 is going to be open. He's just going to, because you have the huge amount of leverage, and it's a relatively easy finish if you put the ball right there. Luka puts it in a great spot, and you can't contest. If you're on the outside like number 30 is, you're never going to get to this ball with elite NBA athletes. Maybe Giannis can get there, I don't know. But you've got to be on the inside, because you've got to be able to force number 10 out there. You're not going to be able to contest like that. As this ball is going to eventually get moved around, we're going to see what I would consider very good defense from Denver, except for one person. Okay, so we're going to see, first off, we saw a good rotation there, whatever. Denver's now matched up again. So we're watching, in particular, Aaron Gordon and Jackson Hayes. Aaron Gordon's going to do a great job, in my opinion. So Michael Porter Jr. gets beat by Luka. Okay? Aaron Gordon's going to step up right here. He does the absolute right thing. But what have we been talking about? We've been talking about what the next person needs to do, and that's Watson. Watson needs to get down here and make physical contact with Hayes and make it so Westbrook is able to guard these two players. If you do not get with Hayes, he's a step too late right here. You can see he has the idea. He's reaching out to get there. He's just too late. Aaron Gordon is already committed, and there is no one with Hayes. Luka's going to find that pass every single time. And just like the last example we talked about, you cannot be jumping from the outside. All you're going to do is get a foul call. You're never going to contest that shot with NBA post players. And the next step of this, I'm going to call this late help. So earlier we saw in those clips, we saw essentially the post player meet him up here, and then Luka had the window on the backside. This time, the post player is going to meet him right here, not really committed to Luka, and so Luka needs to do something slightly different with that, and that's going to be sell the ball with his eyes. And so the difference is the defense kind of gave him the opportunity earlier. This time, Luka's got to create the opportunity. So the reason Zion isn't even more physical in here is because the post player, he's still pretty close to Jackson Hayes. He's still theoretically able to guard both of them. So Luka needs to communicate to the post player, say, I'm going to shoot this ball, so you need to step up to guard me, and then he can throw it into that window right there. So if we notice the post player, we're going to see him actually try to block Luka's shot, and that's the critical aspect here, is Luka convinces him that he's about to shoot this ball, and so Zion goes out here because, Jackson Hayes isn't going to get the ball theoretically, and Luka's able to drop it into that slight void, and again, a wide open finish because Luka controls the defense. So in both these examples, Luka is reading the defense. One example is he's reading the defense super early, and the others he's forcing the defense to react to them and then capitalizing. And so I think the second one, I think it highlights a different skill set that Luka provides. Okay, so he's going to get slightly by this player right here. Boom. Great footwork. Absolutely love it. And so he's going to have the layup right here. He's going to be able to finish here without any resistance because his defender's off balance on the other side. So the post player, Jaren Jackson, is like, okay, well, I got to go. I got to help over. And on the backside, this player is not ready. Like, you got to be, I mean, frankly, you're giving up a huge size advantage, but you'd have to be all the way on the inside. But because it's kind of a late help by the post player, there's no one that can stay with Jackson Hayes. And again, Luka gets Jaren Jackson to commit, and the moment Jaren Jackson commits, you're going to have a wide open pass to a dunk. And frankly, I want to be clear that this is not the post player's fault in my eyes. In fact, it's not even the rotation player's fault in my eyes. In my eyes, it's merely a fact that you got beat off the dribble one-on-one that badly. I don't think you can afford to be that far behind someone like Luka and not expect to get penalized. You got to stay down there. So this is an interesting aspect. If we watch Anthony Edwards right there, I would honestly say that this jump right here by Anthony Edwards is what ultimately leads to this wide open dunk for the Lakers. It's weird to sound like that because it's like so far away and it's like multiple steps away from what actually happened. But that slight advantage is all great players like Luka need. And so here, he is now looking to attack. And so right now, Rudy Gobert is doing a great job on defense. Absolutely fantastic. He's like, okay, Luka's not really a threat to rise up now because Anthony Edwards could contest from behind. And Jackson Hayes, I'm still with him. Like, Jackson Hayes does not have anything open. So as we go a little bit further, Luka is going to keep saying like, okay, well, Rudy's not quite engaging with me. I need him to commit fuller. And how is he going to commit more? I'm going to shot fake. I'm going to make it so Rudy legitimately thinks I'm about to shoot this ball. And so Luka does a great job of, as Rudy drifts back to Hayes, he's going to be like, okay, I'm going to rise up into this little gap right here. And Rudy's like, okay, well, he's going to get a layup. I mean, Anthony Edwards is kind of in good position, but it's not really in a good position where he can contest if he goes with it, if Luka goes with his outside hand. And so Rudy's like, okay, well, I got to contest. Going to jump up for it. And Luka's like, okay, the moment I get Rudy Gobert, what's open? Right here. Because this player doesn't have time to rotate because he's not able to instantly read what Rudy Gobert is trying to do. And so he doesn't have enough time to get there. And Luka's like, okay, I just controlled Rudy. And so now I have the wide open pass, drop it down, and boom, beautiful finish. Luka does this with such an unbelievable efficiency. His ability to read the defense early and make the right read to an easy pass if the defense simply allows it. But then two, to manipulate the defense, even when they play what I would consider good defense, to get the post players, the bigs, to try and block his shot to create the openings is absolutely elite, one of a kind. If you enjoyed, feel free to like and subscribe. Most importantly, have a blessed rest of your day.